The scent of evergreen lingers in my nostrils as I stand beneath the magnificent giants. Here in the wild, I am free. As I stare up into the canopy of green, I am reminded of my connection to this place, to the wild. Here, I find peace.
In 2016, I was accepted to be a youth exchange student in Bolivia, South America. It was crazy moving to a new place, and I immediately fell in love with Bolivian culture, the food, the dancing, the people. But there's a side to that year that's taken me a while to share with everybody. In New Year's, I attended a large party with a few of my friends, and I wasn't drinking that night, but my friends offered me the last sip from their shared bottle. I didn't know that it had been drugged, and I quickly became incoherent. When I woke up the next day, my family and friends told me that there was an hour that I went missing, and to this day, nobody knows where I was. I felt a lot of shame from that and thought I was going to be sent home. So when I moved houses a few weeks later, I met another exchange student, a boy from America. And after what I thought was a harmless game of truth or dare and insecurities being overcome, I ended up having a picture of myself on his phone, which I thought he had deleted. But a day later, I discovered that he hadn't deleted it and wanted me to do stuff with him, or he was going to share it. I felt betrayed and alone. And I remember just not understanding how something like that could happen. So I went over to his house, and despite my begging, I complied. What I didn't know was that during that incident, he had taken a video of me, and he hadn't deleted the photo either, so now he had a photo and a video of me. I remember feeling even more alone, and then I remember telling him I was going to go to the police. I was going to talk to the organization that sent us, and he laughed in my face and asked me which of us they were going to believe. So it happened a second time, and after that I told him I was going to pay him money. I would pay him whatever he wanted, cash, and he said, yeah, okay. So I paid him, and the next day when I went to school, a friend of mine told me that he had actually been selling the photo and the video the whole time. I felt unsafe, and I remember just wanting to not be close to anybody. I gained a substantial amount of weight and was really out of shape during that year. And I wanted to be in better shape when I got home. So I started going to the local gym. The owner of the gym became a close friend, and he introduced me to his cousin, who was supposedly a nutritionist and a really good personal trainer. He also became a close friend to me and quickly had me on this diet and workout regime, which was helping me to lose weight at a really unhealthy rate. We attended a party at their family's homes. I remember I wasn't drinking, and yet again, I was told just one drink. You've worked so hard for this, enjoy yourself. So I did. A little while later, I started to feel really sleepy and almost like I wasn't in my body. And I remember saying, I gotta call my friends, I gotta call somebody to come get me. And he told me, why don't you just lay down for a little bit? Like, you'll feel better. I remember walking up to the room. I remember laying down, and I don't remember much after that until I woke up. There was blood on my legs and on the bed, and he was asleep beside me. I remember the shame, the confusion, and just being scared. I quickly collected my stuff and began to move home. I called a friend to come and pick me up, and I didn't tell anybody about what happened until I got home in late July. I told my mom when we were driving. I held all of it in because I didn't want anyone to hurt with me. I thought it was my fault, that I had done something wrong, or that people were good, so something like that couldn't happen.
I think healing, I always thought, was this process that was going to be done. Like, you'd go to a few sessions and then boom, like you're back to normal. But I think if I've learned anything, it's that your healing journey is unique to you. Like, no matter what you've been through, the way that I found healing isn't going to be the same as the way that you found healing. And that's okay. I also think that it's a continuous process. Every morning when you wake up, you decide to climb that mountain again. And it's going to happen. There's going to be days where it feels like you're falling down the mountain, or you have to stop and just take a breath. And in those moments, it's important to remember that moment when you summit and you're looking out at all the mountains around you and you're at peace and you're like, wow, I'm so strong. I can do this. Like, I did this. And in those moments, I think, is when you find that strength, and you look out and you know you're surrounded by this warm, loving embrace, and like, you did it. Like, the earth is congratulating you. You made it another day. And then you wake up the next day and it starts all over again. And that's just a part of the process. It's this continuous journey. I also want to invite people to know that in those moments when you feel like you're falling down that mountain, to remember when you started the climb, to remember, that moment when you summit, and to find that strength again within you, to just keep going, because you're not alone. You're surrounded by people that have probably been through similar things to you, and yeah, it's gonna be okay.
Here in the wild, I find my breath. In this place, I have found resilience and strength to share my story in the hopes that others will know they are loved, capable, and not alone.